Welcome back. This is part 7, our first case as homicide detectives.
I'm very excited for people to die.
As well you should be.
Good.
That's what LA Noire is all about.
People dying, many of them by our hand.
You're talking about the civilians, right?
I'm talking about the endless stream of bodies being loaded into hearses.
Oh,
while
that too.
Cole kind of looks on.
There really are many.
Okay,
let's get right to it.
Yeah. Well, time skip. Getting all crazy up in here.
Probably a good call. Skip some exposition.
Sounds like a Agatha Christie book title. This guy's got a nice coat. That's not a stick of lipstick that he's using.
There's a lot of red involved.
All right, gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Clyde Rose of the homicide squad has decided to take early retirement. We will all miss Floyd and the steely edge he brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a chair. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway,
I thought they said
fine
6 months
lawman
passed.
of the old school, will be taking you under his wing.
Guess we spent him in burglary.
Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Starting us right out with a serial killer.
Yeah, that's weird. I would have thought that the 6 months passing is so they could skip
address?
some of that exposition.
Been
that
all
they
over
just did.
KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale.
I don't really see the point of skipping 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I guess they want,
Total waste of makeup.
you know, the traffic guy thought he would go straight to homicide, but he actually
refuses to accompany me to church.
spent 6 months sitting at burglary first.
I'd rather you...
Oh my god, he found it on the first try.
Yeah, but I clearly didn't because my partner went out another exit, and his car's up there.
Well,
So I finally mastered the one exit. Now I'm stuck in the other. You'll notice I'm in a new suit, new car. That happened automatically as I came.
It is-
So wait for the
this
next
suit is
turning
nice.
and go right.
Any central unit, car 16.
What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Coon. So they're both clearing the decks.
So where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you, and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
Medallion. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
Are we any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads, and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. This will be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's gonna happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is.
that conversation was completely unpunctuated by a crash.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The Dahlia stuff's a real crime, as you may know.
Crime scene
Sorry,
is
what
just
did
up the
he say?
dirt road, detective.
The Black Dahlia
Was an
crime that he was
actual...
mentioning. That's an actual famous crime. In fact, you should skim the Wikipedia before our next LP. Could be a justice tweet on it. Obviously, the serial component of it that we're exploring now is fictional.
Right.
All the crimes that we've experienced so far are fictional. But I like that they reference, an actual crime. It's cool.
Yeah.
from the period and the location.
Alright. So this partner seems just kind of like an
How about a
asshole.
scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
Get used to it, Phelps. Moving along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Alright, we just turned up the brutality about 10 notches.
Yeah, welcome to the M rating.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with.
Cole looks sharp in this suit.
I wonder if it has any perks. Take a look.
What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
Why is that one print outlined in white?
This equipment is valuable, and so is my time. Leave
Oh,
me
okay.
alone.
Duh.
Has the scene been secured?
Patrolman Houlihan saw to it. The victim's personal effects are still where they fell.
Cause of death?
Could be the head injuries. She has been badly stomped. The cuts look superficial.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
Sorry, I kind of struck dumb by how hideous that is.
What about this wound on the finger?
Something removed.
quite
A
gruesome.
ring, most likely. I assume it was taken post-mortem. Interesting.
Thank you, Cole.
What does the writing on the victim mean?
BD, like Dahlia, Tex. Your guess is as good as mine. Could be something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent. Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Well, okay. This is a murder investigation, all right. We don't even have any.
The victim's bag?
Huh.
This is homicide.
Yeah. Well, we don't have
Shit
any.
just got real.
We don't have any witnesses to talk to, so
Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body.
it's much less obvious, what direction the case is heading right now. Presumably, we'll find some clue or something that points us in a direction. Blood?
It's like some kind of puzzle or parlor game.
Solve it, Cole. You can do it. Oh my god, you're actually expected to? What?
I wonder if it's going to be as difficult as the water heater one. That one threw me for a loop, man.
You can do
Nope,
it. You can do
not
it.
quite.
No. Fine.
Wait for it. Oh, there it is.
The Bomba Club. Why steal a table lighter?
Why make your table lighters puzzles?
actually a cool thing if bars actually used to do that back when smoking in bars and
When we get to the
restaurants
bomba,
maybe
man could die of thirst.
Did they, in fact?
I don't know, but it would be cool if they did have these sort of parlor game sort of lighters like that.
So that was weird. That was just kind of sitting upright on the ground when you found it, so it looked like it was a planted clue.
Yeah, seems like a plant. I'll give you that.
So one thing I want to talk about, we're recording this post-discussion in the thread about the very first tutorial case and the implications about Floyd Rose. Suggestions that he may have set up the whole thing, since he obviously knew the victim. He knew the guy you took in for the murder. So people just kind of point out that, hey, it's suspicious. You know, he came across as potentially corrupt, and I was expecting, therefore, to see once he got to homicide, more of him and him being perhaps an antagonist on the police force.
And who's Floyd again? Remind me of the character.
The very, very first tutorial.
That's gonna kill us!
He was the detective when we showed up on the scene as a beat cop that told us to go look.
Can't rule it out. We need to work together.
And then when we got to the guy's house who the weapon belonged to, we saw that Floyd Rose was a contact in his address book.
Caller of the decade. Been working evidence from BD.
Yeah, we definitely haven't re-encountered that.
There's a difference, Rusty.
No, I'm surprised that
I just started
homicide
working
starts
today.
with him.
Okay, Oddshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around, leaving us a known report?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Finish, fellas. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. Or some opportunist who's been reading about the BD bleakers who'll rip off the MO and get himself a free.
That's not totally fantastical.
Oh, the Examiner, the Daily News. I get the point.
You're doing so well.
Yeah.
Well, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police work. There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder was them, the locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
So that's historically
Dead by his
relevant, by the
own
way.
hand,
The Black
stationed
Dahlia
somewhere
killer. A
else,
lot of people have said that it was the press who interrupted the investigation.
Another country, who knows?
Journalists would pretend to
Phelps,
be
understand
police
why I
officers
turned
and
this
walk
into a
into
big
the
case,
department and
because
just
it
answer
worked
tip
like that, right?
lines
A case will
like
come
freely
behind you.
without
Can't
credentials.
make it something
and
understand?
try and get the
So you don't
scoop.
think the
It's all
werewolf has
about the
continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance. We would have found him.
This officer needs help. Bank of America, 7th and Olive.
Part of why it's become police procedure to deliberately not reveal all details, partly so that they can tell copycats from.
No siren, Phelps? This some form of stealth attack?
Yeah!
To answer your question, yes. Very
Going straight
stealthily
here.
crashing down the stairs.
Up ahead, you turn left.
I'm surprised you picked up on the Floyd Rose thing. That seems really subtle to me.
Well,
I would suspect that after the last case, you'd be more interested in that Vice guy.
Well, we are. No, this is the
and
first
steady,
thing
come on!
after the discussion in the thread about that. And I'm working on the assumption that no one's cheating and pretending to speculate when they actually know. Because the 5th time we watched that opening video, I did notice Floyd Rose and actually picked up on who he was. And now he's mentioned again. So yeah, I'm guessing we're not done with him, even if he's off the force.
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss it. Is there anything else?
Fire away, Phelps. I'll stay here.
It can't possibly be this easy, can it?
Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
What do you mean?
Like, I was assuming that the globe fit lighter was planted, but...
Detective Phelps, LAPD. We're investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine? Christ.
Sure, I know her. She and I and Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine was a lovely woman.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
You know him?
No. He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes, at around 11. If it helps, I made the guy's license plate.
Oh, it's totally
That sounds
you.
pretty sincere so far.
No, it was sincere up until I bothered to write down his license plate.
I think this could be a great help, sir. Thank you.
Hey, honey, what time did you get off the
That was just too much.
Mrs.
Too
Henry
helpful.
appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way back in her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're going to tell me.
Okay, I bought it years ago.
Yeah, this guy's our killer.
I carried a torch for Celine in those days.
You think he planted the lighter, though?
Her old man never knew about it.
Yes, he planted the lighter to lead us here so he could put us on the false trail
You know
of
the
that
husband?
car.
Sure, I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. Put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed
That's
her.
not
How
a-
do you feel
That's
about
not
that?
a crime, Cole.
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up. Asked him to come pick her up, like usual. But he refused. She picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
Thanks, Mr. McCall. You've been a big help. One more thing. Would you have an address for Celine?
That was not a...
142 North Union Avenue. God knows I had to send her home in enough cabs to remember that.
That was not a very good, oh, just one more question type thing, Cole. The one more question is the thing that cracks the case, not, oh, I should have asked you this before.
Yeah, right.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Doesn't give me anything to go on.
Well, we know the guy was wearing a really nice coat. Maybe you can check the coat check records from last night.
Operator, give me R&I.
Only Cole knew that he was wearing a nice coat.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. I'll need to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please. Thanks, ma'am.
Those were some oddly edited together voice clips.
Yeah, you could tell that they just had a library of calls and responses, and they just picked one from here, one from there, and pieced them together.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the lighter. It was upright, and it was, like, all twisted around. If it...
Unless you'd like a drink too, officer?
If it was actually a genuinely incriminating piece of evidence, presumably the murderer would have taken it, given how much other cleaning up he did around the crime scene. And it's...
So it must have been a plant. He must have wanted it there.
That's what I'm guessing. And I don't know how careful this game's running is, but I did notice that that guy was able to slip very quickly into the past tense with referring to it. I may just be quoting Sherlock instead of actual, psychology here, but it sounds reasonable.
Yeah, it does.
So,
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
A smart man might know it's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical. Maybe the men combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor.
Elizabeth Short is the Black Dahlia from history.
Minor syntactical error, Detective Galloway. I never claimed to be able to prevent crime. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. Worse than I could ever have imagined.
So on the one hand, this guy sounds kind of like a dick, but Bukowski also started out sounding just kind of like a dick and ended up becoming
Take the next
awesome.
right.
So
yeah, it's kind of funny that they just when you start to like them, they throw them out. Give you
yeah, I can if this guy's clean, I can see him becoming, you know, once he gets a grudging respect for Cole's actual talents.
Gently.
I can see him becoming a fun character.
Okay, at the next corner, hang
But
right.
it's never particularly fun just to listen to someone be a dick and a bad cop.
But Cole is such like a goody two-shoes.
Oh God,
warrior,
Cole's awful.
so.
I'm not saying I blame him for his... The conversation picked up for me once he started reacting to what Cole actually said, instead of just declaiming on his own personal twisted philosophy.
Yeah.
They have some very fun banter in this game in general.
Stop. Turn back the other way.
No, it's wrong. Look at the mini-map. It's so funny. GPS fail.
At the next available opportunity, make a U-turn.
You have reached your destination.
Jesus, Cole, recalculating route.
I'll try the back door. Wait here a second.
That's not suspicious. Oh shit, did this guy get killed too?
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
Oh my. Oh, and I hope that's not Courtney.
You said I had to go back, Doctor.
The fires are cathartic. They allow you to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues had made all the necessary
You
arrangements.
said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before. I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal
You said the house would be empty. How can I find peace?
This guy is central to the newspaper storylines.
Yep. Also, wow, he keeps getting more and more evil. Like, the Vice guy came across as just an incredible asshole, more than anything else. Like, just a terrible human being. But that doctor is actively going for evil.
Size 9s.
Yep.
Above average for a lady.
With really no motive yet that we can assume.
Well, he's clearly mixed up in the mob somehow. With all the drug running stuff. Or maybe he's countering them. I don't know. Ignore what I said. I don't actually have any reason to believe that.
Burglar used a pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
Note.
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on. One of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Man, I was just about to...
Call in burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
I was just about to say before that last one that
all day about it,
partner's
though.
becoming better and better, and then he pulls that out.
Yeah.
Also, this is the second crime scene we've investigated with Oxydol detergent in the laundry room. I sense a connection.
Probably related. Yeah.
Maybe the doctor works for Oxydol.
It doesn't appear to be connected.
Ooh, a ring case.
Tiffany? The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing ring.
Not much help.
The same kind of hairbrush found at the scene.
Looks like I can grab the photo as well.
A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive.
So now we'll know it when we see it. Ooh, good work. Yeah, the musical cues are well done.
So it was the garnet ring from Tiffany and not a wedding band? Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like. We don't actually know, but...
So what next?
Canvassing the neighbors. Not a bad idea.
I mean,
see what you can turn up.
maybe we were just cheap, but I don't think we got, like, jewelry boxes for our wedding rings. It's not like the sort of thing you need to store.
I knew it wasn't safe around here anymore.
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan. Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together.
Oh my God, it's a woman yelling
What's
at
going
Cole.
on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but...
I'm a busybody.
Celine had been drinking, and she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out, and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered?
Murdered.
Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
To steal or not to steal?
Steal the laundry.
Nah.
Laundry's
that
just
would
out
be
there.
wrong.
Come on, the laundry's just hanging out there. Anyone could take it.
Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Sounds like you're both in agreement.
I'm confessing.
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. He's looking more and more likely.
For my money, if the broad keeps the house looking like that, she's probably deserved it. Skipper says bring him in. Keep the hacks off our backs for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you've come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should...
Did you just skip that, or...?
No.
Weird, that cut off.
It's a bug.
The werewolf killer is totally going to be the overarching storyline for Homicide, though, isn't it? You don't have to answer that.
Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead.
I mean, it's the Black Dahlia killing certainly is the backdrop for this period historically.
Right.
So
This is an awesome apartment complex. It would look way nicer if it were, you know, in shape. But
Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
she's-
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
yeah, it's the bar owner. Totally the bar. There's Oxydol again.
the Oxydol killer. Does this actually work? Has anyone tried
Yes,
this?
it does actually work. It doesn't work this clearly and this perfectly, but it's the same way you take rubbings. If what was written above it was done with enough.
problem there is what to do about the old lady.
Well, okay. That was incredibly damning out of nowhere.
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing?
Yeah, she sustained wounds to the head.
And
they even suggested it could have been a baseball bat or a lug wrench.
Wow. Like, his reaction felt really genuine and shocked.
Size 11s.
But no tread on the bottom.
Well, they were size 8s at the crime scene.
Oh, they were. I didn't remember that specific number. Okay, I want to know what's up with that.
So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
You know where she went, Jacob. You're lying. Why would I help you if you keep lying to me?
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know.
Oh, I got audio lag.
I'll fix it.
Okay. Ah, yes.
We know she went to the Bomber Club.
The bartender there. He calls me if things are getting out of hand, and I go and I bring her home. He called me last night. I said no. Phone rang a couple more times after that. I ignored it. I'm gonna have to live with that.
Oh.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
Not quite.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know whether this counts as doubt or a lie.
You don't remember what time you last saw your wife?
Truth.
alive?
Weird.
Look.
I'm
sorry. I left. Maybe 9 p.m. Might have been a little later, but right around
Maybe
9.
she had the black eye before he came.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
Until I gave up on her last night.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
Well,
You want
now
to
we're
back
gonna
that
put
up with
a note.
something, Big Mouth?
Yep.
Huh?
note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
Ah.
We're still gonna need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
Yeah. I'm... Your partner's just out cold.
Yeah, and I'm not doing so hot either. Man.
You're not being rational.
When they give you the hint to press X to dodge, or press square to dodge, you know that means you're doing very poorly.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But man, you grabbed the fuck out of his lapels.
So I later learned that grabbing will always fail unless he's near being knocked out.
They told you
He has
that.
to be dazed.
They told you that last time when they introduced you to grabbing. Oh man.
Yeah, they told your face that
Call it
last
in and get a
time.
squad car dispatched. And check for messages.
No, I'm going with my
Keep
original.
old Slugger here company.
My original thing. His explanation makes perfect sense. His reaction is read as very genuine.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Yeah. I mean, he may be a little quick to anger. On the other hand, your partner egged him on like crazy. What's the partner's name again? I don't have it memorized.
1247.
I can't remember.
How can I help,
Barkowski?
No, that was last time. That was
I need a
traffic.
patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective. You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument. Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt.
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doc. Operator, give me R&I. Any word on an owner for that vehicle? License was 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One, Detective. From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in.
It's Rusty Galloway. By the way.
Ah, okay. Rusty. What kind of an adult goes by Rusty?
What's that short for? Isn't that a full name? Or?
Is it? I don't know.
Alonzo Mendez.
Sounds like a nickname.
Sounds like a man who moonlights as the werewolf.
Don't sound like a man I'd let my daughter anywhere near.
You've got a daughter.
Spend enough time drinking, Cole, you'll find yourself with any number of things you don't want.
So that's why you never sober up.
Exactly. Watch it, will you?
Brother said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get. We're taking the next left.
These are a real class act. So the question is, what does the bar owner want Alberto Mendez set up for? Maybe he has an outstanding bar tab that he's run out on or something?
Murder over $100. It's probably mob ties.
Yeah, or maybe he just has a criminal record and he knows it, so figure he'll want to,
Mendez,
you know,
16.
run away from the police by default, and that'll make it more suspicious. I'm betting
What's the
we get
barkeep's motive for murder?
I mean, we just had a fist fight, so now clearly we're due. Brilliant, Cole.
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
Brilliant. Now we're due for a foot chase sequence.
No, but what's the barkeep's motive? I agree that there's a lot of evidence pointing towards this.
You know, sexual frustration. He clearly wanted her from long ago, but she stayed inexplicably faithful to her husband, and even after he rejected her, she still turned him down, and he flew into a jealous rage.
Take a look
That's how I'm
around,
calling
see
it.
what you can find.
You don't have to tell me whether I got any of that right. But what's bizarre is if it's shaping up the way I think it is, why would he? He must really want this guy to go down, because if he just didn't plant anything, the police would have had basically nothing to go on.
Or would have blamed the husband.
Yeah, well, but they might not have done that, because who says we could have identified the body without?
Well, I'm sure the husband would have filed a missing persons report within a matter of days.
That would be a strong indication that he wasn't the person who killed her. Oh. Oh.
Brothers could match the
okay.
The body.
The bar owner hired this guy to do the killing, didn't he? Except then, wait. So I'm
consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be tight.
I'm working on the assumption here that it can't actually be this simple.
We have the murder weapon. Better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break. Captain Donald would begin
Or it
to
could
like
be a plant.
Exactly. Cole got it before I did.
LAPD, you're under arrest.
Oh.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get her.
Oh.
You called the chase scene.
Mendez, stop right there.
Yep. Okay, Cole figured it out first. But yeah, it was definitely planted. Because the apartment was open, wasn't it? It wasn't even locked.
Yeah. So you're saying the barkeep did it, he planted the murder weapons, and this guy has a rap, and so that's why he's running.
Yeah.
It's not related.
Yep, and or, this guy did something unrelatedly in the past to the bar owner that he wants to get him back for. Shoot out the wheels.
Get in and drive.
Ooh, 2 kinds of chases in one. Hot. Well, you've been really on your game with driving up till now this episode. Let's see how this comes.
Oh, check that out. Beautiful. Oh, almost had it. That was almost beautiful, and it ended up being tragic.
This is a cool
Got an idea. Get him next to my window,
route.
Paul. Keep me alongside his vehicle, and I'll stop the son of a bitch.
Oh no, don't shoot him, you idiot.
Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
Ah, okay.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
You shoot like a Bond villain.
Like a what?
A Bond villain.
Whoa! Now do we...
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
You should get him out of there before the car explodes inexplicably.
That would have been pretty entertaining if through some bug the car actually exploded in the middle of the cutscene.
I mean, do they do that here, or do cars, if they catch on fire, then 10 seconds later they just blow up?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. But...
It's an old standby of the GTA franchise.
Thing.
So now we need to interrogate that guy and get him to, figure out what's going on, then get him
You did a grand job,
to
lads.
testify.
Phelps.
But he's
That's
lawyered up.
quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian.
What?
Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand
it.
It can't. What? Was it
I mean,
really that simple?
The guy was silent, so he didn't deny anything.
That can't be the end of this. It can't.
I really got $1,700 worth of vehicle damage. I thought I was doing pretty good that turn. I guess I wrecked enough
I'm honestly
cars.
disappointed. I hope they pick that back up later, because otherwise that was just follow the obvious trail of clues with no twists at all. Oh, I bet what they're going to do is that bar owner is the werewolf or whatever it is. That's my guess. Again, don't tell me if I got that right. I don't know. I really hope they pick that back up, because otherwise that's just kind of dumb. That's way, way, way too obvious, and the guy made way too many stupid mistakes.
Well, the traffic cases were pretty segmented. Each one sort of told its own story. I think you're kind of theorizing that the homicide cases might be a bit more tied together, so why don't we see what the next one brings?
All right, sounds good.